Welcome to the Route & Coffee V60 brew guide. This method and recipe I'm about to go through will guarantee great results in the cup time and time again. Just a couple of things I need to introduce to start with to get us going. So, what you're going to need? You're going to need, as always, delicious coffee. You are going to need good brewing water, so good, clean, soft brewing water. And then you are going to need the equipment you see out in front of me. So you're going to need gooseneck kettle, your favourite mug, your V60 brewer, and a nice brewing vessel. You're going to need a set of scales, teaspoon, grinder, and a timer. So, first of all, we need to grind 30 grams of coffee. So the recipe we are going to use is 30 grams of whole bean coffee, ground fresh, to 500 grams of water, with an overall brewing time between 2 minutes 30 and 3 minutes. Let's grind the coffee. So 30 grams in the grinder. Grind size is massively important with this brewing method. You're going to need to find a particle size that allows you to brew at a window of 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes. It is very hard to communicate grind particle size, but I would go for a medium grind. So some grinders will say cafetiere, which is coarse, and espresso, which is fine. You want to go somewhere in the middle, but it will then be trial and error for you to find that brewing window of 2 minutes 30 to 3 minutes. Then it's down to your taste buds. Let's grind. So once you've finished grinding and you have found your correct grind size, it's now time to brew. First things first, what we want to do is we want to wet the paper filter in the brewing cone. What this allows to do is create a really good base to start with, and the paper will stick to the brewing cone, which means you won't get any movement while you are brewing. Also, it heats up the jug for you very nicely. So let that run through, and we want to discard the water from that. Now, add all the coffee, 30 grams, to the filter. Give it a bit of a shake to flatten the bed off. Then you want to make a little well in the centre of the coffee. Now, turn the scales on. They should be set at 0. Then we're going to start brewing. So, find yourself a timer, whatever's to hand. I always use my phone, so it's quite handy to have this on. And remember, we are looking for a 2.5 to 3 minute brewing time, but there's a few little bits in there that we need to take into consideration. So the first part will be the bloom. So the bloom wants to happen within the first 45 seconds, and you want to add 60 grams of water to the coffee to start with. So get your kettle ready, get your timer ready, make sure your scales are turned off, and let's start. So 60 grams of water will create the bloom phase. So once you've got to 60 grams of water, you'll see some bubbles start to form. That's just some CO2 being released, that's been trapped in the coffee. You want to give this a little bit of a wiggle round just to make sure that all the grounds are fully saturated. So 60 grams in, and we're going to wait till the timer says 45 seconds. Right, once you reach 45 seconds, we need to then add up to 300 grams of water until the timer says 1 minute 20. So you will find your rhythm, just nice and slow and steady pour, not touching the edges of the paper. Once you reach 300 grams, you should be at around about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Just about to get there, and we are there. Just give it a rest for a second. Now we want to add the rest of the brewing water, which is up to 500 grams of water, until the timer says 1 minute and 45 seconds. Don't worry if you don't hit this straight away, it takes a bit of practice, but you will get there. Right, 500 grams. So now all my brewing water is in the cone, and now I am waiting for the drawdown to happen between 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes. Just give it a little swirl with your teaspoon at the top, and what that does is it just helps to take any of the grounds off the side of the paper as the coffee is drawing down, and you can sit and wait for what is going to be a very pleasurable experience. Right, we are at 3 minutes. So we've got the grind size correct, and one way to know that you've done a really good brew is the bed of coffee in the filter should be perfectly flat. If there's any humps or bumps or any channels in there, probably not done it right, but if the bed is really flat, that is a really good indication that you have done a really good brew. So now we're ready to taste. So take your brewing cone off, pop it to one side, give it a little bit of a mix, pour, and enjoy.